You all made it on time. Whose screen is up there? Let me
That
get
was mine.
Up.
Sorry.
Hey, folks, we are just getting set up. Lily had some lightning strikes out at her house. We didn't know she was going to make it. And at the last minute, we get a lot of that around here. At the
last
power,
internet. We're back up. But if I disappear, I love you guys and trade safe.
Nothing personal, but I'm gone.
No. Yeah.
and then you're stuck with me, and I will just manage, folks. I'll do the best I can. Not that I'm not used to working by myself, but being live, we'll figure it out.
You can talk like me, John.
No, I haven't got that southern drawl like you do.
All right, I quit interrupting. Go ahead.
We're not going to have any news. I'm not going to put any news up today. I'm sorry for that. You know, I've been putting news in my videos on a regular basis, but not here recently because I've been trying to squeeze in more videos. And I figure you guys can find the news, but finding hot charts, you might want some help there. So we're not going to look at news now because I haven't been accumulating it. I don't have it ready. Bottom line. Okay. All right. I said it. I don't have it ready.
Well, we could just talk about news for their stuff. That'll work.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's been watching Boozy, but that thing took off.
There was a lot of them that have actually been taking gains. People have been watching. Velmore saw Venge this morning, VENG. This is an ETF for vegan companies. And I looked around and I didn't see any news. But what sort of news do you look for an ETF? It's got to be, something huge. But it was running, I think it was like at 22 cents and went to $1.40 or something like that.
I'd be lying, John, if I told you what news to look for ETF or
I don't have a clue.
For NFT or anything like that. I'm out.
Goes to figure it would be a vegan ETF, a bull market, a bear market. The heck with me, we're going vegan style.
Vegetable market.
So who we got here? We have Signor Pops was first in line at noon. Wow.
Yep.
Talk about getting ahead of Velmore, who was here 15 to 30 minutes early. He's really jumping the gun. Good to see you all. Jerome Harris.
I like the excitement.
Yeah, Mr. Mojo. Gotta love a name like that. Darn, he's already got it too. All right. I didn't show news so that we could dive into stocks quicker. So let's get into this. First come, first served. I do believe I had one stock here that I'm going to get this over here so that I can't. I got to blind you. I got to do it for a second. Sorry. Okay. I've got one stock here. Which one was that? Oh, CLSK. This is the only one I have that did not come from the people who are viewing the show right now. And I do take requests on Twitter, on Google. I can only take so many. There's only so much time. He wanted me to check out a few of them, actually. Workhorse, Clean Spark, and I can't do 3. Sorry, Bronson Lee. Yes, I did.
Well, if we have time, we might.
Right. If we have time, I do have them in the background. I remember them, and that's what I think. If we have time, I know where I'm going to go. So we're going to take a look at Clean Spark. This is ticker CLSK. Finished today almost at $4, just under 5% gains. Penny stock on the NASDAQ. You're going to get a lot more monitoring up there. There's a lot of things happening on the OTC. I don't know if you're keeping up with it, but more dividend screw-ups. Anyways, they've got the transfer agent verified and independent directors. So everything looks okay over there. Now, I did some diving around here. What I found initially as the catalyst, and we'll jump at the other pages quickly, but is this 8K. This came out on the 11th. It's the only thing I can really see. On April 6th, Clean Spark Nevada purchased 45,000 XP mining machines for the purchase price of $145 million. Wow. The mining machines are scheduled for deliveries in August and September. That's the only thing I see. Now, I've got to presume that this company's in. I don't think this is mining in the ground. I'm thinking we're talking about mining Bitcoin or mining.
No, they're mining. Yes. I'm very familiar with Clean Spark. Yes, it is mining Bitcoin. I think they're mining Ethereum. They actually have softwares they use for this too. They're really, for a small cap stock, they are a pretty decent company if you're looking at one on NASDAQ. So it did have a fall. I think it went down to like $1.70 something. but starting to pick up for sure. And I have played this one several times. I've been a long-term investor of this one, so I like this one.
She hasn't got any news, so it's got to be that recent filing. And I tell you, 145 million for 45 machines. Yeah, they're about ready to start doing some serious mining.
They've been mining. Yep, they're still doing it. They're just
Outstanding
adding to
shares,
it.
floating outstanding are pretty much the same thing. You're roughly 100 million there. What kind of money are they doing? Oh, look at that. Boy, they are kicking it from
It's
4
nice.
million to 10 million to 39 to 131. They're tearing it up, folks. And they're slowing down over the year. Year to year, they're gaining momentum. Quarter to quarter, they have been losing some momentum here. Anything else we need to see here? I don't think there is. Oh, let's just check out that volume, although the chart will give us more insight to that. Just a wee bit more volume than normal. She did 7.4 million shares for the last 30 days, roughly, when you average it together. Today, she did 8.8 million. Go ahead and show us that chart, Lily. Let's see what we got running over there.
All right. Let me get that up for you. Okay, so for this chart, I went ahead and just went from the low point. This is a 4-hour chart. This low hit in like $12.19, $1.74, definitely in an uptrend. Even when it pulled back, you see it did come out just a little bit, but not enough. Still in an uptrend, still higher lows, right? So then I'm assuming, I don't know what happened here. This is April the 10th. So sometime earlier in the month, we've been having a major strong build. And I'll show you the 1-hour chart just to see what that looks like. Very nice movement for breakout. And now it's returned back to the channel. But it's in the upper parts of this channel, so it still has a lot of strength here. And I'd look for it to retest and try it again. If not, then I look for it to respect this channel. It seems healthy right now. So I like this. Very good movement nice if you caught it back then.
That run that you see there, that is when that form came out. It wasn't the 10th. It actually came out on the 11th. And whenever I see a bump the day before something good, somebody knew something. But yeah, we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of run off of that filing. And they never put out a news press about it.
That's phenomenal, actually, for that type. So I do look for a pullback, especially if there's no other news. But is this a good company? Yes, you can see it in their financials. They're gaining year over year. They do have other things in the pipeline. They do have softwares. They have data centers dedicated to this, and they've been adding to their miners. So this is one I've been long-term invested in. I like this one.
And keep in mind that all those miners that they bought are going out in August and September, which will mean revenues will start to really increase about that time as well.
But that's just extra. They have miners already.
Oh, so I'm sure they do.
Extra.
I'm sure that money isn't given to them. They are pulling coins out of thin air with mathematical
between that
equations.
And their software and the software they make, as far as I know, other industries use it. So they have different sources of revenue. I like CleanSpark. They're a good company. Long-term thing, though, you guys.
All right.
Put you back up there.
Yeah, we are ready for Signor Pops. DVLP. Seems like we talk about this one every week, folks. And I came over here. There is absolutely nothing new to say. Honestly, there's nothing new. You know, we're looking at the same information and I rehash it. And I always find something a little uniquely different than the last time. This is the news that was big. The company had announced December 2022 sales exceeding $5.6 million. Now, if you read it carefully, it says the company achieved unaudited December 2022, $5.6 million, and still haven't even added their largest customer into it. Now, this is the company that has just had 4 recent acquisitions in pharmaceutical businesses that primarily work online. Right here, they tell us Golden Developing Solutions is a public online health and wellness startup company. Its pharmaceutical division specializes in providing specialty medicine with rapid delivery services and adequate medical support in the United States. The recent 4 specialty pharmacy acquisitions in 2022 have capacitated the company's services offerings in the state of Michigan and Florida. They've only got 2 states. I guarantee you they want more. They've got more acquisitions in line now. But they just told us that they did $5.6 million. Well, this is 2022's annual financial revenues. 0. There's nothing here. They said unaudited. That is what it said. So maybe they didn't get squeezed in here. I don't know why that is. Just seems a little weird to me. But in either
Yeah.
case, that was December. Now we've got January, February, March. There's a whole nother quarter, and we're just about through with April. Has that money been increasing? And this is what bothers me with DVLP. I did a Google search. I thought, well, just because the news isn't over here, because this is old, that's from 2020. We've got one piece of news here bragging about their money. Where's all the news about those deals? I would have thought they'd have been putting out news presses about every one of those deals. That would have stimulated the stock. That's communication, but they don't have it.
Yeah.
So I went looking on Google. They never put them out. Now, this is a problem. If a company wants to keep their stock moving, they got to keep you in the know. What are we doing? And they're not putting any news out here. So now we've got a whole nother quarter. Obviously, they've been doing stuff in Michigan and Florida. What's happening? Do we actually have to wait for the next financial to find out? That's my only problem with DVLP. I think the chart's looking good, if I remember correctly. Can you show that to us, Lily?
Yeah, it's still looking good because we have covered it several times. This is a 4-hour chart.
Yes, we have.
And we saw where it fell back here. It's a deep fall back in December. It hit a low of 0021. And I told y'all it's on this path, this uptrend. Right here, it shows the breakout. And I know Senor Pops was saying that, why the pullback, or it's in a pullback. So let's get a little bit closer. We'll do a 1 hour. As you can see, besides the wick, it's still in breakout mode. Now it's probably going to go back into the trend, but it hasn't quite done it yet. So it could just retest right here and stay up above this trend. We don't know yet. I will get closer to a little 5-minute chart. See, it came back and it bounced into it. Out the same place. Yeah, it's retested it.
Yeah.
And it's trying to come back out. So it could very well continue onward from here. And if it does not succeed here, it's going to drop back into that trend. You've seen this too many times not to know this. So you see what it's doing. It could very well just come back into this trend, which would still be healthy. Are you okay, John?
No, I'm okay. I'm just touching buttons I shouldn't be touching. Sorry.
Well, it's still like in a healthy uptrend. So if it does break back into this trend channel, that's not terrible news. Only if you bought everything right here up top, you wouldn't want to do that. So you need to confirm that it's going to stay in this breakout mode if you're trying to enter this play. If not, then you can give it some room and wait for it to come back into the trend lines, or it could create a whole new trend from here. But right now we are still in the breakout mode. It came back and retested. That's what
I see the
good to know.
The PPO and the ADX are just now starting that bottom open.
They're starting to
so it's a good time to keep your eye on it. She's going to do something here.
It is. And I like how it finished. I mean, we'll see how it finished today, the way it's looking. Yeah, I like how that finished. Look at that. That's beautiful. So I'm thinking we're going to probably see a little bit more tomorrow. But if we find a lot of resistance, it could come back into here, retest, or it could just fall back into the trend. So just be aware of that. I still think it's looking pretty good. But just remember, we are in breakout mode. It's retested. Now we're going to see what's going to happen. We're staying there, or we're coming back in the trend. One or the other. But I like how it ended.
I think you're picking stocks today that have your letter. VENG, VEII. I see a trend going here. You didn't think I noticed, did you? I didn't see a whole lot with this one. Velmore's watching Value Exchange International, VEII. It won't hurt, guys, if you give us a heads up to why you're looking at it. So I don't have to go trying to find it. I can zoom in and work out from there because I can't see anything. I see they brought in some new board of directors and an audit committee, which can be a big deal if they've been having problems. But the most recent piece of news before that is 2 years ago. So here we go again. You've got another company that isn't giving us any news. We've had one piece of news in 2 years. That's not enough. Disclosures for this company, they just had their financial come out. There's probably going to be the most information you're going to get, current, backwards, and forward. Then we've got a 4A here, which was at the end of last month. Somebody's accumulating shares, but it's not by buying them or selling them. That was a whole different type of transaction. And same thing there. So those aren't actually insider trades. Share structure on VEII looks pretty bloody good. Outstanding shares is only 36 million. we don't know if these numbers are right. So we know it's going to be under 36 million. Hopefully it is somewhere between 7 and 12. That would be nice. Financials for VEII. Well, they're up and down. They've got money coming in on the quarterly. They're doing a little better. The very, very last month of 2022, they did bring in some more money. So the company looks stable. They finished today at almost 10 cents. Whoa. Whoa. No wonder she's watching it. 165% gains.
Yeah, it had some gains.
Yeah. So now I'm real curious. It's the same thing with VEGN. Both of these V stocks had gains today, and I, with my simple due diligence, can't find it. I would have to actually go out and start doing something more. And she looks solid. She's got all the green ticks, and she's penny stock exempt, meaning she's been in business for a few years with millions of dollars of assets and isn't screwing up on her financial filings. So she may be 10 cents on the OTC, but she literally is not a penny stock. She's just considered a stock. Go ahead and show us that VEII chart. I had no idea she had that sort of gain today.
This is a yearly chart because this chart, I'm assuming it's a low float. It's really hard to read this chart, John. So as you can see, it's in a downtrend. That's obvious. But this big green bar right here is what's got the attention. So we will get closer, but you're not going to get much information. This is a 1 hour chart. You see that? It's very hard for me to read it.
Yeah.
So what I will say is I'm going to take you back to a 3-year chart. And I'm going to do a weekly on it.
Well, what's your 1 minute chart look like? I had that happen the other day.
And I'll get
okay. 1 hour sucked.
I'll get to that.
But
so what I'm
thinking,
thinking,
I can see some activity
because we have a lot of movement. It's heading up, hit 10 cents. I think we're going to have some major resistance at 11 cents, right around there. So if not, and it could break through that with some strength, then I think you got something. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the daily. We'll do a 1 minute. See, nothing. It's just
wow.
It just went from 4 to 9. There it is.
So let me, while you're doing that, the one thing we didn't check, let's see what the relative volume was today. 4,000 shares.
My goodness. See, it could have been just one order that did this.
In saying that, that is 4 times more than she normally does. She does just over 1,000 shares a day.
Yeah. So this could be totally a fluke.
You don't communicate with your people and keep them stirred up.
This could be a fluke. I don't know. You'd have to watch this chart develop as it's going. But 11 cents, because of going back like I did, is going to be problematic. So we'll see. If it can get over that, then you might have something there, Velmore.
All right, Jerome.
That one's hard.
You're trying to sneak in 2, buddy. I appreciate that. But I can only take 1. I have talked about ADHC quite a few times. I do believe that ADHC is the cannabis company that just made that multiple deal with those 3 other companies, TXTM, Hempaco, I think, right? Just real quick, we'll take a look at ADHC.
Think so.
We're not going to actually look at it. I just want to make sure I'm right.
There you
go. American Diversified Holdings enters into comprehensive alliance with Green Globe, Hempaco, and Greenstar. It's not all gone yet. I like this company. These are huge companies, but none of them are really doing anything yet. They've all got potential. And when you bring companies that have potential together and they start putting those synergies together, you can get a lot more going on. So I was really happy to see this. They also got a deal going on with Rolls Choice. I became familiar with Rolls Choice when they came out with their glue stick. Remember in first grade, you had your glue stick you put on paper and sometimes you just eat it. It didn't hurt you. Well, they've got glue sticks that are made for joints and blunts so that we don't have to lick them with our germs or possible COVID infection and roll our joints. So now you just glue them. And it's a popular item. It's being sold on Amazon and all sorts of places. And it's not made with hemp. So they've got things going on. I expect this company to be going somewhere. But as I said, we have talked about this company quite a few times. So we're going to look at the other one. ZVSA. Oh, was that a T? Sorry, Jerome. So close. So close. All right. I don't know anything about this one. I'd have been better off with the other one. I like talking cannabis. I don't like these pharmaceutical companies. All right, you get what you buy. All right, news. Zyversa Therapeutics CEO Stephen Glover to present at Sidoti Microcap Virtual Conference. That's today. One thing I can say, this seems like boring news. You see a lot of conference news out there, investor conferences and stuff, and even businesses. It's great news. They're stirring the pot, folks. They're getting people interested to put money in one way or another, from the retail aspect or from the investors aspect. So whenever you see these conferences, I normally look for just a few days afterwards for people to make purchases. They get excited. If they did their job right, you're going to have new investors. So I normally look for a small bump after these conferences. Anything else we got here?
I think something major must have happened recently, John. This one has fallen hard.
Well, yeah, on the 26th, they told everybody they were doing a public offering for $11 million.
That's it.
And since the price is at 50 cents, that means they're putting 22 million more shares on the market. They were just under a percentage rise today. See, they're ruining a good thing. They got a low float. They're under 10 million outstanding. So the float's under 10 million. Now they're going to throw 22 million shares, and they are tripling the value or decreasing it by 3 times as much. So you've got 3 times as many shares. So if it's worth 90 cents to you, now it's only worth 30 cents once this is done. That's why it fell. People don't want that. That's you not only took away the low float, just diluted the hell out of my holdings. So people are upset. What sort of financials? They got any money coming in, or see, this is why I don't like a lot of biopharmaceuticals, biotechs. They need money for their research and development. They need money to pay for their trials. They need money to pay their own checks at the end of the month. They need money. And where are they going to get it? Us, the investors, maybe the big ones, but if they can't, guaranteed they'll get it from us because they put more shares on the market. And this company, they didn't tell us. Kind of strange. NASDAQ, they don't give us the authorized share count there. I wanted to see how many they could flood the market with. So we don't even know. So that's what's got this stock moving right now, the wrong direction. Although look at this. It must be bouncing back after a huge drop, right? I'm asking you, Lily.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading the comments. What did you ask me?
Is it starting to bounce back after a huge drop?
Well, maybe a little. I'm so sorry.
That's all I see.
So you can see, like it would hang around $1.50 area. It did spike to $4.20, and then just fell off. So we're down at like the 42 cents range, and then it started picking up a little bit. So I'll just do a 5-day, 5-minute, see how it fell, and then it's building up a little. Like it's not here at the end of the day. It started doing something a little bit better than what it was, but I don't like it here. I mean, have they already diluted, John, or are they still in the process?
I think it's still in it. I was looking at their other filings. They've got many S1s back to back here. I'm
not like that.
Yeah, it looks. Let me see. Since April 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4 S1s, and then they put them in effect yesterday. So it started yesterday. They're still selling those shares, flooding the market right now. The dam's been opened.
Well, I mean, just for today, it's in an uptrend. You can see where it touched the 42 cents, and it kind of consolidated in that area. It started picking up, especially at the end of the day. So does it continue? Don't know just yet. It took a really hard fall, so this could be like a dead cat bounce. People buy in, get it to run up a little bit, they'll sell, and they're out, and a lot of other people get stuck holding. So just be careful about that. So make sure it's going to continue. But with John, like what he was saying with the financials and stuff, I see no reason for it to continue unless there's something I don't know.
They're also adding 11 million warrants at the same time, which tells you down the road, at some point in time, there'll be close near 11 million more shares thrown into the pot.
Yeah, they'll dilute it again eventually. So, I mean, that's what you're looking for, and that's what you can expect from this company. So if you were to play something like this, you would only play the short-term momentum moves like this and get out. That's what I would do. Back to you, John.
All right, I jumped over there before you. Oh, you didn't flip me. You got to flip me.
I haven't flipped you yet. You want me to?
Yeah, you got to
Hey.
flip me, or else I got to come back and tunnel vision
Gotcha.
everybody. Every time I flip, I got to tunnel vision.
Gotcha.
Okay, Belmore, I am not forgetting you, but since we looked at one of your stocks, I'm going to put you at the end. We'll get others here.
UVXY, I think it's an ETF.
UVXY from Chris Vaughn. Chris Vaughn.
Like,
why does that name sound so familiar? Sounds like a celebrity.
Vince Vaughn. He's Vince's brother.
Right, the better looking one.
So why was I thinking UVXY was it is an ETF.
Pro Shares Trust.
Okay. It's an ETF.
It's an ETF, an electronic traded fund, $3.77, and it dropped about 7% today. And that's a new one for me, CBOE. What's that stand for, Lily? It's not the NASDAQ. It's not the New York Stock Exchange. Commodity
I've seen
broker.
It before. It's probably a commodity thing. I don't know for sure, but I've seen that. I just don't know what it is. But UVXY.
I appreciate that, Chris.
Yeah, UVXY. I've played it before.
No news.
It's like a inverse. I think if the market's doing well, it's going down. The market starts coming down, it does well. I can't remember exactly.
So I see no news. I see no financials. We do have a 42. Well, you're showing me everything new. I don't even know what this is. Prospectus supplement rule to fiscal year.
We don't mess with the ETS too much.
I would have to study this.
I'll have to. Give me just a second. I'm looking it up, John. It's they have an opposite.
I like that. I'm looking it up.
I'm looking it up because I have played it before. I'm a little familiar with it.
So that probably tells me why there's no financials, because it's an ETF. It's not a company. So you don't get no financials. I don't even know. Did they even have a share structure on these? I don't know. I mean,
it's an ETF. It's like Pro Shares. It's like a combination. Market's doing well, it goes down. Market's doing bad, it goes up. It could be an
guess the only thing we can really look at then is the chart, because there is nothing here to learn from.
I think SVXY is the opposite.
Go ahead and jump in that chart for us. I'll see if I can learn something about it.
Hold on just a second. I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
So we don't usually cover ETFs and stuff like that, just your penny stocks, but we'll look at it real quick.
Well, I cover anything under $5. I don't care what
it is. Currently under $5. It usually isn't. Like you see right here, the hitting around 13. That was in October of last year. Problem is, I don't remember what the opposite of UVXY is. There's two of them to play. There always is. There's the Dow and the S Dow. Gotcha. So what we're looking at right now, we'll get closer because this is a 4-hour chart. Definitely in a downtrend. You can see that. The 1-hour chart is bumping around a little bit, but because I don't know what affects this, I can't tell you exactly what's happening with it. All I can do is look at the chart. So here you go for the 5-day, your 5-minute chart. It took off 2 days ago. What is that? The 25th. We had a nice run on the 25th when we were sitting at 377 and it hit $4.23. But I don't know what was affecting the market that day. I don't know what was the other stuff doing bad.
That's the hard thing with like the SPY or the Q. What actually affected the whole bloody market to make the whole ocean rise.
Exactly. So, I know about like the Dow, of course, and you have the S Dow, which is shorting the Dow. So that's the problem I'm having here, and I would love to be able to explain it better, but I'm just going to have to admit that I only play these when I need to, and I know about them at that time, and then I'm out. I haven't played UVXY in about 2 years, I think.
Yeah, the one we're looking at is the inverse, the short-term futures.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can't find the other one. It's kind of tough.
Well, I mean, if it's what I think it is, and it's because the market's doing pretty well right now. So if that's what I think it is, then this is probably at a low. It is. All right. Let me do a year chart on it. So that's the thing. It's $3.69 the low. And then if you buy in here and hold on to it, it'll do well because the market's going to come back down if that's how it works, because it's the inverse of something. So if that's doing well, then this is going to do worse. If that's doing bad, which is probably SVXY, I think.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize
Let's
there
look
are
at
ways to play a down market without having to play options or shorting a stock.
XY.
Inverse. There's a lot of inverse stocks that if the stock is
Yeah.
falling, you're making money on that
And
stock.
so this is the opposite. I'm pretty sure. SVXY, which you can see is doing really well, and they usually look opposite of each other. UVXY.
Right.
I'm going to pull that back up. UVXY. See that? And see how it had a big bump here and the other one had a big down right here. So when this one's doing good, the other one's not, and vice versa. But you need to study if you're going to play things like this. I'm not saying this for myself because I'm not playing them. But if you're going to play them, know UVXY, know SVXY, and how they work, why they work the way they do. One's an inverse. So understand that and understand what happens with the market action and what it is that affects these. Is it commodities? If it's commodities, then if commodities are doing well, the other one will do well and this one won't. So you need to know those things before you play it. Please make sure you understand them. Also, I don't recommend holding ETFs. Some of them are not meant to be held overnight, so make sure you know about that as well. They're just like a temporary short-term thing that you should play with. What is it, John?
No, I think we went through this last week with Cisco. Cisco is a $46 stock unless we're getting the wrong ticker again, because I'm over here going, no way we're looking at a $46 stock. It's got
I know it's not Cisco. But I do remember looking at that one. CISO.
I know we did this last week. This is so deja vu.
We did. I'm just going to see. I saw it was in a downtrend then.
That out, we can look at Belmore's. Yeah, I'm not looking at no $45 stock. That is so far away from a penny stock. It isn't even in my league of understanding.
CISO is Cerberus Cyber Sentinel, and it's sitting at like 20 cents.
Which ticker?
The CISO, Cerberus Cyber. That's what they were asking about. CISO.
CISO.
Yep. It's not Cisco. We did look at it.
No, you're right. Now it's on me. So part of this is burned out. Part of it is burned. Obviously, there's no.
Why you bring me along, John?
I'm looking at a second screen, so I don't have to keep bouncing back, and it's really tiny.
It's okay.
I keep shoving my face in there just to see it.
What we were looking at, I identified that it was in a downtrend. And I'm just showing that a chart again real quick. It's in a downtrend, but you can see it's kind of leveling out here. It's consolidating in this area. That's what you have here, guys. This is consolidation. So 0.19 cents is the low right now. If it can hold above that, I don't know what's going on with this company. I don't like just buying something and holding on saying, yeah, it's going to go back up. I don't do that. So I wait for momentum on the chart. I don't see it here. So as long as it stays in this range, it could build up, but it could take 6 months. You don't know, or it could make a newer low. So be very careful with that. I like to see the momentum, and I don't see it here. All right, back to you, John. There we go.
We're looking at CISO and not Cisco. Cerberus Cyber Sentinel. She had very, very low volume today compared to what she normally does. 6.1 million. She dropped down to 849,000. So people were not paying attention to her. We're lucky she only fell, well, guess what, 1% today. News. Most recent piece of news was over a month ago. Cerberus Cyber Sentinel announces preliminary estimated financial information. I would expect a follow-up to that sort of news. Disclosures. We've got a 3 here. I think I opened that up. And let's see what they say here. Oh, right. This is this what I thought it was, or was this it? This was it. This is the 13. I've got to stretch my page up so that you can see there. These are insiders' ownings at the very bottom there. I can't use my mouse while I'm holding this page up, but you can see the values. 319 million is invested by Core S&P, 10 million by ComCL. There's some information here, but I don't see a catalyst. I see information, but there's nothing standing out. Share count, maybe 50 million if we're to take this literally. Could be anywhere up to 151 million. And I'm going to presume that this is, if I remember correctly, the cybersecurity. This is the one we looked at, though, right?
Yeah,
this
is it.
Okay. Guys, I don't mind looking at your stocks, but honestly, looking at them week after week isn't going to change anything.
Yeah, same thing. Nothing's changed, and it's totally just consolidating.
People are always asking me, do an update on that stock you talked about 2 months ago. Well, I will when something happens. I'm not going to talk about stocks just because there are pets. I'm not married to any of my stocks. I'm invested in them, but I'll dump them whenever they treat me bad. I dumped HNRC the other day. Bad boy, you lied to me. I don't want you around me anymore. In case some of you didn't hear, HNRC, they came out with news the other day, finally gave us a date for the dividend. What they did was give us a second date. They extended the record date from December 16th to tomorrow. Any shares you start buying again now,
what? They're pulling that mess
dividend. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is not what you think, because they're pulling the wool over our eyes by not telling us everything. The company finally released a link to a FINRA report. When you open it up, matter of fact, I can show you here, folks. I'm going to have to bring you over to here. And can you see that? Yes, you can. All right. This is what I found and what everybody else found and why the stock fell. Where are we at? OTC got shorter. Right there, folks. The company did a spin out, and for every 2 shares of HNRC that you own, you will receive 1 share worth supposedly $3.50 of WDHI. The problem, you shall receive 1 restricted, unregistered share. Folks, these are worthless. They're not even registered.
That's
you can't
awful.
sell anything that's not registered. Restricted means you can't move them. You can't touch them. Now, they did say they are anticipating the FDA approving their application for registration. Well, they also said they were anticipating the delivery date of the dividend by December 30th. We see how far their anticipation goes. They could activate the restricted shares, but CBDW, they didn't activate theirs. They had a spin out, gave everybody free shares like 2 years ago or something. Came on the market just a few months ago, ran from a penny to $5, and nobody got to sell their shares because they're restricted.
That's sad.
I actually sold stuff I had losses on because I could recoup them. And then we discovered that. I got out at even. I brought my average down from 45 to 30 cents, tripled my holdings. And then when it started to fall, when everyone learned, including me, because I did not do my DD deep enough. Shame on me. When someone says that they have filed, I'll now tell you what, that link they gave us did not take you right to this filing. No, you had to go into FINRA and you had to
find it.
To find it.
So, well, I got a question. So they extended the date of the dividend to when? Like coming up soon?
Tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow. So they're hyping it up again, pretty much. Bye. We promise this, we promise that. And maybe it does come up a little bit, just like it did last time. And I'm just going to tell you how it's going to go. It's going to fall. They're not going to do squat. They're going to keep doing stuff like this. And that's just how I feel about it. I hate companies that do this. So if you get to a point where you're break even or you're a little bit in profit, whatever it is, because it might be rising right now, take it and go. It happens too often, guys. Don't do it. Don't do it.
There are lots of people who believe they're going to register it and they're going to get it out there. They're holding the faith. They're holding the hope. Well, let me just say this. They've had 5 months to tell us they're common shares. They never said the word common. They could have said unregistered. Yeah. They could have said restricted. They neglected to say that over and over again. And a company that goes to that extremes for that long, and now we discover it by actually doing our DD, no.
I was going to purpose. It's terrible management. That's not nice. And there's no way to invest because you don't know which way they're going to go. They could change it on you 2 months from now, 2 years from now. And it's like, oh, well, nope.
All right. So you've already showed them Cisco's chart, didn't you?
I did. It's just consolidating right now. I don't see anything that's making me like, oh, I got to get it. Nope. So if you're a long-time investor, you really like it, that's you do you, boo. But I don't participate in charts like that until it starts actually giving some momentum, to see some news, stuff like that. So keep an eye on it if you're interested.
All right, we're going to get back to Velmore's next ticker, Slug Wife, SLGWF. This is slang worldwide. I got to
That's what it
come up
really
with
was.
I got to come up with an acronym so I don't get these letters confused. So I create abbreviations.
I'm like, do what?
Slug Wife. Okay. Slang Worldwide. I'm familiar with this. This is, I do believe, a cannabis company. Slang Worldwide is leading cannabis-focused consumer package company. And I do believe they've been doing stuff here recently because I post news on my Penny Pot Stocks webpage on Facebook. Had that since 2018, been keeping up with most cannabis companies for the last 3-4 years, folks. So if you really want to do some due diligence, come over to my Facebook page, Penny Pot Stocks. There's a lot of news there. Use the search. Don't just go browsing. Use the search and see everything on one stock. So what do we got here? We've got financials. They announced their fourth quarter year-end 2022 financials. Does that show up over here? They're doing good. Had a dip. They went from 22 to 19, but back up to $29 million. This is a cannabis company, folks. $29 million. Most people don't think cannabis is doing well. I'll tell you what, most cannabis companies are doing better than most companies we're invested in. Many of these companies are doing hundreds of millions of dollars in a quarter. I am not lying to you. They're doing lots of money, but they're just not getting a lot of love right now. And the cannabis sector is sectored out. You've got the US companies, they're one type. You've got Canada, G7, that's totally another, like Uruguay. You got Israel, you got Europe. They're all dealing with different laws, different problems, different open doors. So not all cannabis stocks are the same. Cannabis cops. Yeah, we've had those for a long time. Let's see here. Our share structure for the company. I'm going to think it's probably somewhere near 73, but it's under 82 million, which isn't bad. A lot of these cannabis companies have been surviving off of share money because they can't get bank loans. Cannabis companies in America cannot put money in the banks. They cannot get loans. All the money they make, you see hundreds of millions of dollars in a quarter. None of that is in the bank. It is somewhere in a building being guarded with people who have rifles. I am not lying to you. There is $22 billion out of flow, not in the banks, not available for loans because the feds will not legalize cannabis. So that money is not allowed in the banks and it is hidden all over the country. Big piles of money right now. It's a shame because we need that money in circulation. Disclosures for Slang. Nothing since 2021. Now I get the feeling, let me see here. Fourth quarter business update. Slang Worldwide launches open in West Virginia through strategic partnership with Trulieve. Trulieve is one of the top 5 biggest cannabis companies out there. Curaleaf, Trulieve. And most of these are what you call MSOs, multi-state operators. They don't operate in one state, they operate in many. Well, so does McDonald's. Big deal. Yeah, but that's a franchise. They're allowed to go in all states. These companies have to put an office in this state and a factory, an office in this state and factory. They cannot synergize their businesses because the cannabis can't cross borders. So it's real stupid right now. And once the laws pass and they go legal, they're going to be able to synergize all of that, get rid of all these extra buildings, cut down their leases, get tax deductions, bring their expenses down, and that bottom line is going to go way the hell up. And the companies,
I agree.
Millions are going to be making hundreds of millions. Right now, they're paying out way too much because they pay tax on gross revenue. Nobody else in the country does that. Nobody. All right. Now that I've gone off on that, why don't you show us that chart so I can cool off?
Sure, not a problem. Actually, the chart, it's been in a downtrend. This is 6-month chart.
No
So what's interesting is this right here, very recently. So let's look a little bit closer. Let's go to your 1-hour chart, and we're in breakout mode.
Whoa.
So look at that. That's a beauty.
Wow.
I love that. 0.014 to 0.0516. So nice move there. So I'm going to see what it does on the day. Okay, so we hit that and it actually sold off before the end of the day. That's where it's sitting right now. So it gave back a lot of what it gained, about half. So I'd watch it for tomorrow. I'm not interested in it right here. I hate seeing a stock finish on such a huge red bar like this. So I wait and see what's going to happen the next day. It could sell a little more. It could bounce real quick and then sell off. So be
Looking
very
at the
careful.
news, I was seeing if there was anything as you were talking there because I didn't realize she had such a big bounce. Their
Yeah, it's huge
financials were
today.
bigger. They were bigger than we found. We reported 29 million. They were actually 38 million.
Oh, okay.
So they
Listen to that
jumped
right
from
there.
19 million to 38
Yep.
million. You're talking a huge bounce.
Yep. And look at it on the day. Like look at the 13-day moving average, how it's approaching and then crossing that
Yep.
50 this morning. You see that? That's
Yeah,
what
power
you're looking
move.
for. When you see that, oh my goodness, what a beauty.
Golden cross.
And then you have some green bars here. You got a couple of good, indicators. Doesn't mean anything, but it could. So these are really good indicators. Say, hey, I'm going to buy a little bit right here and see what happens. And then boom. So good time to get out. You start seeing the red bars. It starts to come back down. Done. And these two are going to have to meet up again. It's either going to bounce or it's going to keep on giving it up until it calms down and the 9-day or the 13-day catches up with it. So that could be over for the move. I don't like how it finished. It was a beauty during the day, though. And there you go. Back
to me.
Back to you.
All right. I am presuming, I'm looking at Belmore's comment here, but right up underneath that comment.
Yeah, she said she's trying to make everybody money.
No. The next comment after that, she says it was the caveat emptor removed. Now, we can see over here, folks, corporate actions right there. You can see this early in the morning, and this is a way to find stocks that can make you some bloody good gains in the day. Right here, symbol change. You got to hit this little arrow. There's a lot more information that you can take advantage of. She is talking about a tier change, right? No, caveat emptor. That's the very bottom. Right there. Yeah. The last one we had run, where was that? DBBM. This came off. That thing ran like crazy. And you see this before the bell. You come here and you say, oh, look, DBBM was moved to pink current. Caveat emptor is gone. The poison skull is missing. You can trade it. That day, it just skyrocketed. Well, you would have known about that before the bell because they post this information every morning before the bell.
Yeah.
So what are we looking for? We are looking for a high, I can't come up with an acronym. Let me see, HYCVD. Well, must have been quite a while ago that caveat emptor was removed, unless I'm not seeing it. Well, there's, Venge. No, she's not talking. She's talking about Venge right there. VENG. Now, I thought Venge was the ETF vegan.
Well, I don't know, because this one right here, we're just talking about the HCYT. I saw it dropped off. No data from March 31st until yesterday on the chart. There's nothing. It's missing that many days in between the bars. So it might be that one. I don't know.
Well, I'm confused because I do see a name here. Vision Energy Corporation was made CE back here on January. Then VENG came off here on the pink. But we just looked at VENG and they were using that ticker for the vegan ETF. This is not a vegan ETF. This is an OTC pink. Then you got the other one, which I'm not sure. Has she given us another comment here about no?
I didn't see one. No.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
So I see March 31st. The straight is April 26th. So this is strange.
HCYT.
Mm-hmm.
H1C would do just fine. All right, let's see what sort of catalyst we got. Any good news, bad news? Nothing since 2022, December. Regenerative tissue kit from Scion Solutions. They acquired this, an acquisition of Skin Disc. So they just acquired that at the very end. They also acquired Janabody. They did that in September. So they've been on an acquisition here, acquisition for catheter precision. So they're doing a lot. I can see they're doing a lot here. Are they making any money doing all of that? Not really. They're doing 1.6 million at the end of 2021, and 2022 became rough. 379,000, 73,000, and then zilch.
And what
We don't have
happened? Somebody ain't
obviously.
updated. What happened?
Yeah, they're late. Disclosures. They probably filed an NT 10K saying that they're late. We got an 8K here. This could be good news. On April 12th, the three investors entered into a securities purchase agreement and sold. Blah blah blah. I can't see anything major there. How much is it? The other $35 million of notes has a maturity date in 60 days. Well, that may be serious. That's a big number. 35 million. I see a lot of these where they're just talking 100,000, 200,000. So I just kind of blow through those. But when I start seeing 35 million, that's something you should look in at. And that, did you say the chart fell on this one?
Well, it's come up a little bit now. It's been kind of consolidating, but it was just paused. It was paused for like a month.
Look at that float. 192,000.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it's a small float because the
chart's holy cow.
I'm just thinking about the chart. It's big bars. You can't really see a lot of data on it.
500,000 outstanding. Now on the major exchange, you can't have anything less than 1 million. I don't know that there's a criteria that you got to meet down here on the OTC. If there isn't, oh bloody heck, I'd be in this stock just waiting for somebody to sneeze, for goodness sake.
That might be what's holding it up. And maybe it had a reverse split because I could see in the 3-year, when I was looking back, it had a major move from like cents to dollars. So I'm like, that must be a reverse split.
It had a reverse split June of last year, 1 in 1,000.
There you go. Okay.
But yeah, that's about it. I don't see any more disclosures over there that we got to concern ourselves with. Share structure we looked at, news. And I'm presuming this company works with some sort of biopharmaceutical company. Absolutely. All right. So she's got all the green ticks over here. She didn't do bad. She had 50% gains today almost.
Yeah.
She had $1.95. Show us that chart, Lily. I was under the impression she fell today.
No, it has fallen, but like this right here, this $7, that was in September. So the chart right here on this bar stopped. That's March 31st.
Oh.
Then it opened April 26th and went down to $1.33. Probably because everybody's in freak out mode because I don't know why it was paused. I have no idea.
Right.
But when it opened back up, people probably got their money out of there. People don't like stuff like that. So it could have been news. I don't know what it was. So let's look at the 5-day, the last 5. Oh, it's hard to read because it's low float. Either way, you can see it hit $1.33 up to $1.95 because some investors stepped in because they like this price. Even my 1-minute chart, John, this is all it gives me. I can't read this.
There's nothing there.
There's just it's too much. Not enough action to show on the chart, really, and it's a low float, you guys. But if you go back just real quick, if you look at the 3-year, you see what happened here. That happened July 2022. Wow. And then we hit $7. That's why it hit $7.
Is that reverse split?
This is a reverse split. It has to be.
1 bar.
Yep. So, and then boom, back down here. So it's going to kind of figure out where it needs to be. And you got to think it's been closed off for a month. We really don't know what kind of price action we're going to see on this one. But do keep in mind it's a low float. A low float can hurt you quickly. So if it gets any kind of volatility and liquidity coming in, you can get hurt. You can get burned by this. So you can keep an eye on it. You might want to, if you like it, buy a little splash here, a little splash there, but don't go crazy on this one. And if it moves like it did today, then take your gain, But nothing really exciting going on there that I can see. And then we got GTII.
Yes, we do. GTII, Global Tech Industries Group, finished the day at $1.52 with just a little over 6% loss. Looking good with all the right green ticks over there. Let me see. Global Tech works with emerging businesses. Sounds like a holdings company to me. I was seeing some news over here. I remember they had this deal with Wildfire Media Group and 1-800 law firm. Obviously, that's two different businesses.
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, we have talked about it. They've made some headway here. Press release came out at the end of March. They extend the closing date. They actually gave us a window here, extending the original agreement to May 15th, 2023. So that's when they should close that date, that deal. What was that other piece of news? Right. We were looking at the dividend. That was specifically the question by Phil. Thank you, Phil. We appreciate the question. Dividend. Let's see what they got here. Since its board of directors initially approved and authorized management to submit the corporate action request on March 9th, 2023. Corporate action request to issue a dividend to its shareholders in the form of one, listen, folks, one restricted share for every 10 shares you own. Folks, look, restricted shares aren't sellable. They're restricted. They are not common shares. They're not on the open market. They only go on the market when the company decides they can. And if you think the company's got a big heart, look, why would they give you a restricted share in the first place? So,
yeah.
So Phil, that's my thing there. We were talking about HNRC, CBDW. Now we're looking here. There's another company that's giving away restricted shares. They're playing on our ignorance. If they were, this is a penny stock on the OTC. So even if they came along and said, with an activation date of August 1st, 2023. Well, first, I'm going to have to wait believing them from here to there. 2, I don't want to wait. 3, I don't believe them. I just don't. Why would you give a restricted share? What value is that? Bragging rights, wallpaper? I'm not getting this. If somebody understands the reason to go out or take or invest your money for a restricted share, and then when people find out it's a restricted share, they get upset and it's this stock that falls. Yeah. And you can't sell until you get your shares. So normally you're holding dead dividends and a stock that's now a bag.
Yep. And maybe it's with the hopes that eventually it will be something, or it will be a share, or it will be. And the thing is, that could be a 20-year hope, you guys. You don't know. And I don't like participating in that. I don't make my money off of hopes and dreams. I make it off of research and my due diligence and playing the momentum of the charts.
Yeah, if I'm going to play future gains like that, I would prefer buying a warrant just for a few pennies.
A warrant or a share. I don't want a restricted share, one damn share.
Yeah, the warrant will allow me to buy it cheaper down the road, and it's got a date. And these are monitored by NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. That ain't OTC. You can count on that deal being honored. The deals down here in the OTC, boy, you better get duplication.
I think they come up with them, John. I think they just make some word jargon and, hey, this sounds good. Put it out there.
You've got to read what they write and look for what they did not put in there. Don't just presume you're getting a dividend. What kind? Did you say common? Did you say restricted? Why didn't you say one or the other?
Exactly.
So I would presume.
Exactly.
So what does GTII look like? Is everybody
go ahead and show it to you real quick? Well, it was, we did this one before a while back, and it wasn't a slight uptrend, but it's been doing this whole consolidation thing for too long, and now we're just sideways, completely sideways. And I charted this, I want to say, with the 1 year chart. So it is an uptrend. I don't want to deny this whole hitting 46 cents here. We're having newer highs and newer lows. You can see that. And it retested here. And this one is not as low. So it's higher. This is good. So it could be building up right now. But you can also find a lot of investors that end up getting very frustrated because this is a restricted share or whatever else they come up with. And this thing's going to sell off like a hotcake. Yep. So maybe not everybody's in the know like you are right now. So you make your decisions with the information that you gather on your tickers or what you're trading. Okay. So if I was in this and let's say I bought it back here, I don't know. If I was in this, I would set a stop with a place that I would take profits that I'm not willing to give back. And if it doesn't hit there, maybe it will build up some more. If you look at it just for today, how it ended, bunch of red bars. I mean, it's doing okay. It's totally in downtrend for today, but it's doing okay. It's picked up at $1.47. Seems to be heading back up. I don't like how it ended, but more than likely, it's still going to be trending tomorrow, and it's going to be making a little bit of movement. But the thing is, when it drops and they don't like what the management's doing, or they're fulfilling what they said they were going to do, or they were misleading, this stock will fall. So that's my problem.
The company said restricted. You can at least appreciate the fact.
Well, they did that. That's good. That's good, because some of them don't. So just as long as you're comfortable and you know what's up, you know what's going on, you're familiar with the management. I'm really hesitant with OTC management. I've been burned before too, you guys. I'm not perfect. And I learned a lot of lessons. All right, John, let's see. Can we do a couple more before we end it? Because we're 5:01, you guys. Look at that.
I know. I see a lot of you people came. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I see Thieves got in here at 427 with RGI. Wise Words of Music. Oh, folks, I'm glad to see you here. You guys are talking to me on Twitter.
But you know what, John? Let's do this because it's 5:01. We're after the time. You look at the comments, and if you see a ticker, let's just pull up the charts. Let's just look at them real quick.
I got one because it was already up there. VBLT.
You got one? All right.
That was from Robert Ray. Late to the party. How do you like VBLT? Remember, they have a quarterly on May 15th and an acquisition with a ticker change in works. So in other words, they got catalysts after catalysts coming.
Yeah, they got news going on.
All right, so let's see. They don't tell us what the company does, so let's jump over to the news. That'll give us more information. Okay, we just had their financials come out. Yes, they did report their full financials. Always jump into those, folks. There's lots of information. That's really what you want. They made a deal here at the first week of March. The company closed the sale of manufacturing facility. They sold it. That's right. We looked at this not too long ago. They sold a facility for $7.1 million. They got some cash. They are doing a deal change. That's right. I swear it's deja vu, and then I can't remember exactly what we talked about.
We look at too many, John. It's okay. We'll do a refresher.
Horrible right now. Yeah, I can't remember all that we had looked at. It doesn't look like anything's changed. But what I remember is that the deal was going through. Where was that? I think it was a disclosure, maybe the 8K here.
Probably.
No, that one is the so many 8Ks. And
I know July of 22 does not look good. This thing fell off a cliff. So July 22 is nasty. So I don't know.
Yeah, they've got a lot of things going on here. They've got a warning from the NASDAQ about their price, and that date. Where was that date? Did I see it there? So quick. Oh, it would be the last one. This one here. Their cutoff date is started on March 2nd. There, August 28th. They've got to get their price up over $1 for 10 days straight, close over $1, or they're coming off of the NASDAQ.
They're nowhere near that.
And they'll come right down to the OTC. So they've got a few more months to get this handled.
But they'll probably try to do it. They'll probably do a reverse split. Be very careful.
Well, we got this deal going on. They just sold. They've got a deal coming in. They've got a merger, a ticker change, a name change. So they've got a lot of catalysts. If it plays out right, they could get that price up, but it's got to stay up over $1.
Maybe. It's the end of April, though. We're sitting around 19 cents. It is an uptrend, but I don't like that. And I would check the filings. Yeah, I'll show the chart real quick. I would check the filings. Make sure you don't see something that already says they can do a reverse split whenever they get ready to, and all that's been approved. You got to be careful with that. So right here, we're sitting at 10 cents. That's around December of last year. And then we've had a lot of spikes, which is great, but it's pretty much stayed in this uptrend. And then this last one, it came back down, revisited this lower level, and it's coming back up again. So it is building up.
About this one.
But that's from December to now. That's 4 months. And so 10 cents to what? 23 cents? This area? That's not a whole lot. No. So if we think it's going to get to $1 and hold that for 10 or 20 days to stay listed by August, I don't see it. I mean, you're going to have to have some major news. And most of the time, it may hit it, but it's not going to hold. They'll sell it right off. So you have to be careful with that. This right here is your 1 hour. It's respecting this channel. It's a good spot. I mean, we picked it up right here at 16 cents. Definitely a good spot to pick it up and see continuation. But these ones like this, I don't like to play for an extended amount of time. I just don't. I don't want to get caught in a reverse split. I don't like that. I don't like how that feels. I don't like how it messes with my account. So I don't mess with them. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
All right, we'll squeeze one more in here.
Right.
This stock I actually put news out on the other day because it was pretty big news. This is LLAP, Terran Orbital Corporation. Finished the day at $1.86, just a little over 14%. She's a penny stock on the New York Stock Exchange. There's news that has been being talked about that just got closed here. First, you had that big rocket that exploded. You know, they were doing that big test with Hercules or whatever the heck it was called, and it exploded in the sky.
Oh.
It didn't go exactly right. Well, stocks were rebounding after that. And then Terran Orbital made a deal and they closed it. It is a $2.4 billion contract, a payment for 300 spacecraft. Now, I don't think that's 300 spacecrafts. I think that's a particular type. But this was a big deal that they did with Rivida Space Network. And this came out, what day was this? Goodness gracious. I think that was just yesterday.
Yeah.
Today. I posted this news this morning. I can't even remember that. So this just came out. Let's see. I think this deal is happening right now. Partners as well as trade studies that will support the acquisition process and system engineering for the company's 300 spacecraft, a $2.4 billion contract with Rivida Space Networks. The company will design, build, and deploy 288 low Earth orbit satellites and 12 spare satellites to produce a total of 300. I was wrong. It is 300 of them. 300 spacecraft weighing approximately 500 pieces. I'm not quite sure what their low orbit satellites are for. They're putting these low orbits in for a lot of reasons now. There's less latency. Information travels to the satellite and comes back so quick that now you can actually do your internet on it, phones on it, and there's not this big delay. You can move 5G information on it, so you can push a button here and machines are operating on a patient over here. Works real quick. And they're using this for the internet and geology and who knows what else. And I have no idea what they're actually using theirs for. I haven't gone through this. I found the headline, posted the news. Let's see what we got over here for share structure. Under 144 million, best I can tell you. Financials, well, the company's actually making money. I would have thought they were kind of like a startup just working to get cash, but they look to be building up 13, 21, 27, 31 million. Although I see that they dropped heavy here, 10 million down at the end of 2022. And there's nothing here beyond that. But they did just get a huge deal, $2.5 billion, and they're making 31 million with 10 million in debt. I think that 2.5 billion will probably help cover that 10 million. No problem. Disclosure, POSAM. Just a quick tag in here. What do they say? Putting shares on the market, putting warrants on the market, a lot of them. Looks like about 106 million shares. 106. And what did we say the float was? Or it was 104, wasn't it? So they're doubling it. 144, and they're putting up 104. So about 2/3. So there's a serious dilution there too. So if the chart is falling anytime since then, that would be the reason. But today we had a nice gain.
No, it's actually, the chart's been pretty healthy, actually.
Show us that chart, please.
Sure.
I like healthy charts.
Here you go, sir. So back here when we hit $1.29 is the end of December, end of last year. And granted, we had a spike here. I'm not sure what caused that, but that was a nice breakout. What day is that on? God, that was huge. Sorry, John. February 22nd.
Okay.
And it was first thing in the morning, too, from the way it looks right here. I mean, the opening, that was the whole day, and it was just, it must have been a crazy day. And then you had a few days after it, too, right? So coming back into the channel, still in an uptrend, even though it gave all that back. it's still respected. Look at this, just boom, boom, another pickup area right here. And now we have another one right here, right before it started taking off again. So if you look at the 5-day, 5-minute, came down here, revisited, bunch of people picked it up, dum, 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 boom.
That
gone.
surge,
Yeah.
that surge was the virgin time that they told us about this $2.5 billion deal. That was the first
Yep.
time they had ever mentioned it.
Yep. So this right here, I mean, just the opening, that was from this morning. This had a very nice day.
Wow.
So it's a beauty. I like this one. I look forward to continue with this type of information and news. Plus, I like the fact that it's already touched the bottom of this channel, and a bunch of people have already picked it back up. We have some news. This one could continue a little bit further up. It really could. Because you got to look. I mean, if we go back just a little bit, you'll see it's at the bottom of that channel. You still got plenty more room up here. So
yeah,
you might have some trouble around the $1.99 area, but getting over that too, which is a lot of mental stuff too. Those are just, they're mental blocks. It's not like it's a resistance. It's a mental resistance, right? So getting to that too, a lot of people will say they'll set their sell orders for that $2. So it could be a little bit harder. Once you get over that, yeah, you could definitely revisit this upper channel in the 230s. So keep an eye on it. This one looks really nice. I like it.
Yeah, and I think space stocks are going to do well. I mean, first off, I think anything in space
That's true.
takes money, takes a lot of money. There's a lot of investors who want to spend their money on big ideas, like Elon Musk, right? They just love to throw money at these big ideas. So I think space stocks are going to do well. But if they have an accident, if something goes wrong, well, you talk about a stock crashing and burning quick, these stocks could fall fast.
True. But I will say before we leave, John, Chris did bring up that the UVXY was a play off the VIX, and I meant to say that it is a play off the VIX. I do know that those ETFs are affected by the VIX. I don't know. I know I was saying all kinds of other stuff because I'm talking about the S-Dow, I was talking about commodities, but I forgot about the VIX. So sorry. Anyway, I don't know enough information. I'll still say that. I don't know enough information to tell you how they work. But Chris, if you want to come back next week, I will do some research. And because it's under $5, even though it's an ETF, it's still nice to know how to play those kind of things and when is the right time to play them. So I'll look into that for you. All right,
I appreciate all these stocks you guys have brought here.
That's amazing.
A few, but BMXI from OTC Forever, what a name! You're true blue, aren't you?
OTC Forever.
Yes,
love it. BMXI is in an uptrend.
I'll tell you what, folks, we don't have time to get into them now, but I will glance at these stocks because the stocks that I've never heard of before, it could be a hot stock. Velmore brought me a hot stock, HCNWF. Never forgot that ticker. That was beautiful. We loved it. So I will look, and if there's something special, I'll actually do a video on it. If it's something I think we should have talked about, I'll bring it up next week too. So sorry we couldn't get to them, but I darn sure appreciate you guys showing up. Me and Lily are here just for you. And we do bumble and fumble, but that's live.
Yeah, we're live.
I did put on Corona, though.
I didn't have power 2 minutes before we went live. So, I mean, give me a break. I did my best. Thanks for being here, guys.
Hopefully we shared some good stuff with you. But remember, folks, we want to find stocks that can make us money. Looking at stocks we're holding, that's hoping for money. Do some due diligence. Go look at some charts. Bring those charts that look like they're breaking out and see if we can find catalysts together. Maybe we can get a home run and make some money.
Wouldn't Tell us what you know about it. We'll dig into it. Yeah, I'd love to. Because if I find a nice one like that, I'll tell you about where you want to see, where you'd like to buy in, stepping into it. If it's just starting, why not? I'll give you some.
Now we're rambling, so I'm going to hit the button and say,
don't you cut me off. No, I'm kidding. Bye, guys.